I just want to get something off my mind, and something that frankly really needs to be said, and there's very few Marxists who are willing to step up and say something. This anti-white politics is bullshit. Okay, you've got so many on the people on the left going, just spouting anti-white rhetoric. Ha ha, spicy food. Oh, ha ha, white people are scared, this and that. Now, if you're a black radical, like a non-Marxist, like just like a regular black radical, even just a regular black person, okay, this would seem, the kind of thing that you would do. And that's fine if that's your position. However, if you're a Marxist, this really isn't the right position to be taking. It doesn't take much to notice how this anti-white politics, and that I mean the really, it's not even like a real politics, it's just sort of this thing that leftists do. They engage in name-calling against white people as if somehow that's supposed to be an argument for something. And yes, I realize the response will be given to this video is, you're white, you're triggered, etc. Of course, the problem here is that in terms of Marxist theory, this doesn't make any sense. I know a lot of people will instantly scream class reductionism, as if Marx didn't write a theory about class and class struggle. Now, the history of why you have to work with class to eliminate other forms of oppression are already known. It's already there in Marx's writings, so I don't have to rehash it here. The problem is that everybody's just sort of pretending that it doesn't exist or not following it. For example, there was one Facebook post I saw where somebody was saying, oh, how Marx wrote on race. Well, actually he didn't. That wasn't one of the subjects that Marx covered in depth. He did applaud the end of slavery, but he also turned around and supported the U.S. annexation of New Mexico. So I don't really think that's a really good thing to go by. Marx didn't write in depth about race. He's got a few writings here or there, but he didn't go into a theory about it, because that's not the point of Marxism. Marxism is about class struggle, and these other struggles that take place at the same time must also, they're part of what becomes liberated as a result of class struggle. For example, show me one thing in Marx where it says about sexual orientation. Well, that's because there is nothing. Was Marx homophobic? Yes, it was the 1850s. Everybody was. Was Marx even very possibly racist? Probably it was the 1850s. That's why we update theories. Now, it's one thing to acknowledge that there is a racial struggle in the United States, which is obviously very true, as well as many other countries as well. But there's a difference between just abandoning Marxism and claiming you're doing it, when really you're just doing ID poll. Now, it's very obvious that I'm anti-ID poll, like Lenin, Marx, and Che, and, well, every other, all the successful communist leaders were also a part of. They also rejected, what with them actually succeeding in places, whereas ID poll people have succeeded at, frankly, nothing. Okay, my point is here, going on about this, haha, white people, haha, spicy food, exactly how is that supposed to bring about revolution? I mean, if you're a Marxist, that's what you're supposed to be doing. If you're just a black radical, then making fun of white people makes sense. But if you're a Marxist and you're trying to build a revolution, how is deliberately insulting 60% of the population supposed to do that? If your Marxism is supposed to be based about class, and that's what Marxism is, class struggle, then why would you just simply insult the majority of the population? I mean, this is not a revolutionary tactic, by all means, and I know I have to preempt a lot of ID poll assholes right now by saying, yes, racism exists. I don't say it doesn't. I have never said that. I have always supported the struggle to end racism, despite the claims by many phony Marxists. If you push this anti-white view rather than an anti-racist view, then, well, you're not going to accomplish anything. Do you really think that you're going to reach the average white person who's racist by going, ha, spicy food, you can't handle this? Do you really think that's going to happen? Like, do you think that's going to reach them? Promoting equality is going to work. Pointing out injustice is going to work. But simply insulting white people isn't going to do anything. Well, why are they going to come over to your side and build communist revolution in America if you're deliberately pushing an ideology that excludes them? It's this kind of insanity for ID poll, which is largely is a tremendous problem in the first world because of the lack of general revolutionary potential. People don't actually want to do revolution, and then when you have that kind of a situation, you have all these other, like, frankly, idiotic ideas that are coming up in place of that, like ID poll, etc. Like die cis scum. Then turn around and say, why won't cis scum join our revolutionary effort? Well, because you just said that they had to die. They're not an opposing group the way the ruling class is, the way the capitalists are. It is in the interests of, cis people to have revolution. It would help them as well, and you should be winning them to that argument and arguing why there should be inequality and to end these prejudices rather than just simply saying cis people evil. And yes, I realize the response to a lot of the ID poll people, oh, you're only saying this because you're cis. Because that's generally how they work. They don't have any real theory. The whole transgender movement, the whole gender questioning movement in general, as if this generation actually... every generation thinks that they invented gender nonconformity. Trust me, this goes back pretty damn far. You're not unique in this way, in any way whatsoever. I mean, that's fine. You want to be gender questioning? Fine. Do it. I don't care. But when you start doing things that deliberately alienate huge sections of the population, you can't turn around and whine that they won't support you. You can't stand from a message that says kill white people and then turn around and say, well, white people won't follow us because they're racist. No, that's because you just said to kill them. That's why they won't follow you. Now, if you want to keep going on with the ID poll thing, hey, have at it. Do it. The more you people do this, the more you are going to destabilize U.S. society. You are going to weaken the imperialist core. And if you do it enough, there's going to be a collapse, maybe a civil war, and the United States will lose its imperialist power. And then other countries around the world who are actually striving for freedom away from imperialism will have the room now to do so. So by all means, go ahead, scream, kill Whitey. You're really only helping third worldism by doing that, by destabilizing the imperialist core, as I said. But if you really, truly want to build revolution in the U.S., and that's really what you want to do, then you really should reject this nonsense that just simply says cis people evil, white people evil. Because exactly how are you supposed to get what's the cis population in the United States? Like 99.9% or something? How can you say you're trying to reach the masses when you're deliberately excluding, quite frankly, almost the entire population of the United States? Or in terms of race, excluding the 60% of the population that's white? Sorry, but your theory is bad and you should feel bad because your theory really is bad and doesn't work. So the course you're on right now, do it. In fact, I dare you, prove third worldism right. In fact, help the third worldist theory by continuing to do this absolute nonsense. And to take these things and then take other things which are completely irrelevant, like whether or not catgirls are sexist or how do furries fit into this. Like, who cares? Like, why does your theory even include shit like that? And it includes that because there's no real desire for revolution in the first world. That's why this stuff happens. So, go ahead. Do it. Push the anti-white politics, scream, die cis scum, and then turn around and wonder why none of them will follow you into revolution. But they might follow you into a racial war, and they might even have you follow into a civil war, maybe something like that. Although I sincerely doubt a real civil war will happen in the United States. But we could be looking at race riots. We could be looking at huge civil unrest, which I think that is very likely if this kind of nonsense doesn't stop. But you know what? Do it. Destabilize the U.S., ruin the U.S. empire, because that's only going to be good for third world people. Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.